Hi, so we're going to use just two plays here to talk about one concept that has to do with when the defense is in man-to-man coverage and the offense is going to use some motion on the play. So how are we going to handle that? Here's the situation. The offense is close to scoring. They need to score. It's a sort of a must-score situation in this game. That's the stage we're dealing with, so let's get into it. So here's the first play of the two plays we're going to watch. So it really looks like the defense here is playing two-man. So again, I don't coach these teams. I can't say for sure what's going on. I'm just going to go off what I see. But it does look like two-man defense as far as their coverage goes. So right at the snap of the ball, we see we're in man-to-man under. So each of these defenders is man-to-man on one of those receivers. That leaves these two defenders that are going to be those deep, zone sort of players. We're near the goal line, so they don't need a lot of depth, but it looks like they're going to be those free sort of deep zone defenders. That's going to leave us two more underneath. Okay, they're only rushing 3. So that leaves us 2 more underneath. They can be low zone help players. You're often going to see them also pick up the running back. So that's what's going to happen here. They're going to pick up the running back. The other defender is going to kind of handle the quarterback as the quarterback starts to scramble. So here's our man-to-man sort of developing, our 2-man. Okay, it's an interesting call down here anyway. I mean, it's a little bit of a light box. The offense could, they're probably in 3-down territory here. They could run the ball on this light box. They choose to throw, and the defense is in great shape. So you're going to see the quarterback scramble a bit. Here's one of those low zone defenders who's going to take the back. This other low zone defender is going to end up, sort of pressing the quarterback when he scrambles. And it's actually one of the deep zone defenders who's going to make the play on the ball as this pass attempt goes through. So that's the first play that we're going to watch. So here's the next play in the series, and it's 3rd down now. The offense is going to go for it based on the situation in the game, and it seems as though the defense is going to be in the same play call. So let's watch that play out. So a really kind of noteworthy thing on this play here is that the offense has come out and now they have a tight end to the top of the screen. So that's going to be just a little bit of a wrinkle and something that the defense is just going to have to be aware of and account for. So the real topic of this video today is dealing with motion when we're in man-to-man defense. So again, it really looks like the defense is in the same play call here, and that's why we watched the first clip, just to get a sense of what this scheme is. So now we're going to see some motion. So it really appears as though we're here, and this defender is now man on the tight end. And again, this defender here is going to be man on this player here, who's now going to motion across. So 2 ways you could handle this as we see this play out. As this motion comes across, you're going to see this defender, who was on the tight end, is now going to expand and attempt to cover down this new slot receiver. So he is sort of bumped over to cover down this player. Now this defender, who was man on this player, needs to come across, and if this player is going to bump out, logically this player would now be responsible for the tight end. What's going to end up happening here is it looks like that tight end and that little bit of motion has created just enough of a hesitation that this tight end is actually going to come free on the play underneath and end up catching a touchdown. So that's one option as far as handling this motion. The other option would have been, this player is initially man here. The other option would have been for this player to just stay on this player the entire time. It's man-to-man. I'm locked on that player. Wherever that player goes, I will stay on them. That would cause this player to stay locked on the tight end. So when this player comes across, another option would have been to take this player all the way over to play man and leave this player locked on the tight end. So there's pros and cons to each. We're just watching one play here. The pro of that way of doing it would just be that obviously there's less communication necessary. I'm man-to-man on that jersey number 85. That's my man. I'm going to take that player wherever they go. That's simple. The challenge then is sometimes they go really far, so we have to travel long distance, and also we're probably tipping off that we're in man-to-man because we're following that player everywhere they go. That's going to tell the offense that we're in man, so it's not a perfect science. The pros and cons to this way of doing it, obviously we can usually get better leverage. We're a little closer to the player we're going to handle. We can maybe disguise it a little more, but now it really requires that communication. If I'm going to now come off of my man and take this player, now you need to communicate to someone else that they're going to take the original player that you had. So there's no, again, right and wrong answer. There's pros and cons to each. It's just up to you to decide what you want to do in your system.